Episode 3415, Nurture What Matters.
Moms, it's time to rediscover, rejuvenate, and renew who you are in mind, body, and spirit. Welcome to Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie, the show to help you do just that. Here's your host, certified life coach, personal trainer, and nutritionist, Christiane Wargo.
Happy day. I hope you're having a fabulous weekend. It is the first weekend of a brand new month. So another reason why to get your love on for the person that you said I do to years and years ago. Nurture what matters. For those of you who are brand new to Create Your Now, welcome to this incredible family. I'm so delighted of your presence. If you already haven't had the opportunity, you'll want to head over to createyournow.com where you can learn more and to sign up for the Kisses newsletter, the Keep It Simple strategy, everyday solutions to live, love, and impact. Well, this episode is brought to you by AIM, inspiring connection and community. You know, in the whirlwind of life's responsibilities, and I know you have a ton of them, it's easy for the spark in a marriage to dim. For couples juggling the demands of life, the connection that once felt unbreakable can start to falter. So nurture what matters. Because you understand the demands of raising children, pursuing careers, focusing on others, and growing even your finances. And those are just some of the things that can distract couples from each other. Yes, it's called doing life together, but are you really doing it? Because here you said, I do, with the hopes of building a life together. But now the reality is that you are building a life, just not together, or so it seems. These feelings are real and can affect your growth as a couple. In fact, many find themselves asking, are we better together? Hence, what do you think comes up in conversation? The big D, right? Divorce. The big S, separation. Or wait, maybe we just need to get away from each other. I think most of us at the beginning of the honeymoon phase of marriage are enthusiastic about what it holds for us. Yet, when life happens, those enthusiastic dreams, they fade over time, eventually leaving them muted and sometimes permanently buried. Do you want to bury your marriage 6 feet under? I mean, why would you want the spark in your marriage to decline? Why would you not give your best for your spouse? Why would you give more to others than to the one you pledged to spend the rest of your life with? Well, my friend, if you find yourself feeling distant from your spouse, it may be time to refocus on what truly matters in your relationship. What does truly matter? Well, the only way you're going to find out is if you rediscover your connection. That is your Kiss to Keep It Simple strategy. Rediscover your connection. When the closeness you once shared with your partner seems to be slipping away, because, you know, this happens to all couples. This isn't just about, oh my goodness, it's a fleeting moment. Those fleeting moments are going to come and go. You know, you might be in a season where you're dealing with a health crisis of people in your family or something's happening like that. Maybe you've hit just kind of this bad season and your career isn't going like it should be. And so you're kind of in a slump. Okay, those slumps are going to happen. It's when the slump continues, not just day in, day out, but months into years, into decades. That, my friend, is a red flag. That is where I want you to rediscover your connection before you get to the red flags. That's why you got to really talk about this. You've got to think about it. You've got to say, where am I in this living life together? That I said, I want to do life with you. But then all of a sudden you find out that you're really doing life apart, just kind of sharing the same four walls. Is that working for you? Well, maybe for a little while it does. But then all of a sudden, well, maybe one or two of you decide to stray, right? And you're like, that's just, I'm not getting out of it what I thought. And then you're getting attention from somewhere or someone else. So I first want you to ask yourself this. What am I doing or not doing for my spouse? I want you to keep that question at the forefront as we go on and talk. Because if you don't keep everything in perspective, if you're not real and raw, you're not going to get anywhere. There's no more, well, maybe. It's either yes or no, enthusiastically. There's not this maybe section. If it's a maybe, it's a no. Don't try to give yourself a way out because that's what we're doing. We're thinking, oh, well, if I'm kind of doing it, then I get the pass. You get your $200, you get to pass go. Woohoo. Maybe it works on Monopoly, but not in real life. Rediscover your connection. If you want to reignite the spark and nurture what matters, your enthusiasm to rediscover must be off the charts. Yes, that means you've got to prepare your heart to do your part. So let's talk about 3 things you can do to reignite that flame and rediscover your connection. Number 1, prioritize quality time. Not just time, but quality time. Find those moments in your busy schedule to dedicate to each other without distractions. Schedule a regular date night. Now, I know we've talked about this before, but are you really scheduling it? Or is it just like, oh, we're going to do it on Tuesdays? But it really never happens except for when, oh, it's convenient and my parents are in town or my in-laws are in town. And so now let's go out and do it. And that's 6 months, 12 months later. That's not a regular date night, my friend. You're totally failing on that. Maybe it's a mini getaway and you don't have to go anywhere, as in take a trip that costs thousands of dollars. Your budget may be tight. That's okay. So ask another couple, say, you know what? If you guys want to get away, let us take your kids. We'll bring your kids over to our house and you can have a time of your life at your house. And schedule something. Cook a dinner that you wouldn't normally cook. Do it together. Right? The idea is to do something to reconnect and strengthen your bond, something unique to you as a couple, not to anyone else. It's not about double dating. This is about double dating. Oh, wait, you and your spouse. Now, you can also do simple things like taking a walk or cooking that meal together. That can help you feel more connected. Jimmy Evans says this: let's make time each week for an evening walk, just the 2 of us, to talk and unwind from our hectic days. How many times do you actually take time to chill out? Chill out, not to do more work, to chill out with your spouse. Just hold hands. Maybe to sit next to each other and read a book. Maybe sit next to each other and wait, not have your phones in hand. Drop the mic right now. I know you're probably already in withdrawal, aren't you? No, pick it back up because you got to still listen to me to the end of this episode. You got to prioritize your quality time. That means you make your spouse a priority. That means work is on hold. I don't care if you're working from home. I don't care if you're working 3 states away or 2 countries away. You've got to prioritize time with your spouse. Get creative. Hence, create your now. It's not about doing it the easy way. It's about doing it the hard way. Your heart has got to do its part. And that means you've got to show up in actions, in gestures, and in words. Are you doing so? Go back to the original question. What am I doing or not doing for my spouse? Are you prioritizing quality time? If you're at the office 12 to 18 hours a day, that is a resounding no. I'm not doing anything to prioritize my spouse. Now, if it's a season because you're in a project, let's take for pretend a tax season. Tax season here in the U.S. is kind of crazy. So if you're in the middle of a tax season, then I can see where maybe for about 2 to 3 weeks, it's going to be all grind. But don't continue into the months of May and June and July and August still grinding it out. There's something wrong there, right? Take a real and honest look. Number 2, communicate openly and honestly. You've got to set aside time to have meaningful conversations with your spouse. That means no reels, no more Snapchat. Put away whatever fun game you're playing on your phone. I don't know what it is. There's so many out there. I mean, there are now games that you can pay money to. And I know there are thousands upon millions of people who do this. That's fine. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. If that's how you want to spend your money, fine. But what I am saying, you got to put the game down and pay attention to the heart in front of you. Because if not, you're going to lose that heart. And then you'll lose your own. So set aside time. Share your feelings with one another. Now, I will say this. Share them at the appropriate time. If you need to get into a discussion that you know is going to be a little bit touchy, don't do it at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. I'm telling you right now, that's just plain stupidity. You are asking for a fight from the beginning. When I'm talking about sharing your feelings, it's about, hey, how was your day today? Wow, I'm so sorry that project didn't go as well. I'm sorry you had a fallout with your boss or with a coworker. I'm sorry traffic was so hectic, right? You may know traffic is hectic, but if that's something that gets under your spouse's, edge and they're just like, oh, it's getting under my skin and I just got to get it out. And they say, I'm just so tired of driving. This is ridiculous. Well, then I hear you. Let's figure a different way of doing things. What are some of those options? You see there, you're beginning to what? Formulate a connection. You're networking with your own spouse. They tell you in business to network all the time. Get to know people, share things, because network, that's where the money is in networking. Well, what about the money for your own marriage? The money is called your heart account. How empty is it? Or is it? Maybe it's crumbling. Maybe it needs to be rebuilt. Maybe it needs to have a little bit of restoration. You can do that slowly by communicating openly and honestly. Share those feelings, your concerns. Share your dreams, for goodness sakes. Do you know what we're doing right now, my husband and I? We are planning on building our house. Oh, it is so much fun. I've moved, I don't know how many times, it's ridiculously amount. I think we're up to now like 34 times in my lifetime. Yeah, ridiculous. Well, I can tell you this. I know every house I love, every inch of the kind of house I love. And I can also tell you every house that I've hated, every inch of the home I have hated. So guess what? Building a house sounds absolutely thrilling to me. Why? Because I can make it our house, not somebody else's house where I have to go fix all their errors, where I have to go fix all of their shortcomings. I get to say, this is our shortcoming in our house, and this is what I'm going to do so it prevents any of these shortcomings, right? That's exciting to me. Now, my husband, well, he's slowly getting on board. But let me tell you, we're still dreaming together. Why? Because we're in agreement. We want a lake house. How we get that lake house is the question mark. I'm still voting for let's build. He's kind of there on the edge because you see, with the cost of what it is to buy, a house on the market value is totally different than building. Now, yes, costs have gone up, but you see, we're dreaming what? Together, not apart. And that's the key. And when we dream, we're doing it openly and honestly. Do I sit here and belittle him and say, your dream doesn't matter just because you want to move into a house immediately, so it's all done so you don't have to pick out all these things, which for me, picking out all the things just sounds absolutely wonderful. But for him, it means, I got to live in limbo for the next year to 2 years. I'm like, yeah, that's okay, but I'll be around. Isn't that enough that I'm around? Maybe it's not for him, but we've got to listen to each other. That's what makes it dynamic. That's how we become the dynamic duo, because we're doing it together, even if we disagree with one another. Listen actively, empathetically. And when you do so, that can bridge the emotional distance between both of you. So let's commit to having this weekly check-in where we can share one thing we appreciate about each other and one thing we'd like to improve it on in our marriage. Have you ever done that? You could have a joy jar and a grow jar. Joy jar is, keep doing this, babe. And the grow jar is, I would like this to be a little bit different. Now, for some people, no one wants to put anything in that grow jar. But let me tell you, if you're daring enough to have a grow jar, you're going to be better for it. So prioritize quality time. Communicate openly and honestly. And finally, number 3, show appreciation and gratitude. And this is showing it like you've never shown it before. You got to pay attention. You got to be observant. You got to say, thank you. Thank you so much. Just like my grandson does. Thank you, Grandma. Thank you, Grandma, so much for spending time with me. Thank you, Grandma. Okay, I got to tell you this story. I know it might be TMI, but I'm going to tell it anyway because it's so cute. It's so adorable. He was much littler than he is now, and he was learning to potty train, and he said out of the blue, thank you, Grandma, for wiping my butt. Imagine if your spouse said that to you. I know you're laughing right now, but guess what? There might be a time in your life that you're going to get that from your spouse. Thank you for wiping my butt. What comes around goes around. We start as a little one and we end as a little one. We all need help. Show appreciation in a way that's never been shown before. That gratitude. Expressing gratitude for your partner in words and actions and gestures. Showing that appreciation for the little things can go a long way in nurturing a loving relationship. Those small gestures like leaving a heartfelt note, surprising them with their favorite treat, it doesn't have to be much. My husband loves sea salt caramels. Oh, delicious, he would say. And literally just a little treat like that. I did that to, I think it was just a couple days ago. In fact, last week. And I just put it on his drink cup. Just left it there, no note. But it was his favorite treat. That made him smile. It was a simple way of me telling him, hey, I love you, without even saying I love you. That makes a great impact statement. Jimmy Evans says this: let's make a conscious effort to show gratitude towards each other daily, whether through words, actions, or thoughtful gestures. Go back to the original question that I wanted you to have at the forefront of your mind. What am I doing or not doing for my spouse? Are you communicating in a way that your spouse receives it when it comes to appreciation and gratitude? Remember, where you invest your time and actions reflects what you value in your marriage. And by nurturing what truly matters, you can reignite the flame and strengthen the foundation of your relationship. In the garden of marriage, the seeds of love must be nurtured daily to bloom into a flourishing partnership. My friend, your marriage is a partnership. It's not about you doing life by yourself and your spouse doing life by himself or herself. It's about coming together and saying, we want to do life together because we're better together. Remember, it's never too late to prioritize your relationship and nurture what matters most. Go in peace, be present, be incredible, be you. I love you so very much. I cannot wait to see you on the other side. Blessings, hugs, and lots of love. We'll talk to you real soon. Have a glorious, blessed day. Bye-bye.
Feeling inspired, ready to train for life and love your journey? Visit createyournow.com for more incredible resources to help you along the way. We'll see you next time on Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie. And remember, always be sure you consult your physician before beginning any health and fitness plan.